Welcome to Low Man Help. I'm Mark Campbell, and today we're getting a TJ McConnell exchange actions. TJ is one of the best guards in the league at getting into the lane, and he does it by understanding where his defender's weight is loaded and where they can and cannot go with their next steps. Really excited about this edit. Let's get into it. All right, first one we got from McConnell. We're going to get a Spain pick and roll. We're getting an exchange, a cross-step pickup, a goofy foot finish. It's just stacking good on top of good on top of good on top of good. He is an absolute menace when it comes to shifting his weight. He's not a phenomenal athlete vertically, but God, is he one of the best athletes in the NBA in terms of being able to move his weight around efficiently from north, south, east, west. He sees space as 360, and he is awesome at feeling when the defender is leaning and then taking advantage of it. So first thing we're going to see here, in order to be able to move weight around and have optionality, you need to be able to lift the weight up. The weight all has to come up. Both feet have to come off the ground. The weight has to come up, and then you give yourself optionality of going either direction or being able to transfer the weight up. So this is just high level stuff from McConnell, and his feet are some of the best feet in the league. We get this skip, so right, and then shifting weight, feeling where Josh Hart is moving. Miles has a great read here of flipping the screen and then being able to push this. When we talk about exchanges, it can be a crossover, a push cross, between the legs, whatever it is, but we just want to exchange the ball from one hand to another. And it can happen in front of your body or behind your body. So skip, push cross, exchange here. And this is so nice. Feeling Hart, and then the pièce de résistance on the end, stacking footwork together. We're getting this cross-step finish. So seeing DiVincenzo's hips, we've got hips facing this way. So space is not going to be continuing to go this way. He reads where space is. Space is over here. And TJ does an awesome job of driving this foot over. When you cross step, you want to think about driving your right foot in this situation. Whatever hip foot you're crossing over, you want to drive it over top. And he does an awesome job of driving this hip over top, and then a nice goofy foot finish. There's nobody better in the league at his size and his athleticism of getting to the bucket. He's an absolute menace, and it all starts with his feet. All right, next one here, we got a little pistol action coming from McConnell, and we got another skip to exchange to a pull-up jumper. TJ McConnell is one of the top 5 athletes in the NBA in terms of shifting weight and knowing where the weight is loaded on his defender. One of the things that makes him so deadly is the fact that he's always in rhythm and on balance, always able to have optionality with his next step. But the thing that really sets him apart is the fact that he knows where this defender is loading weight and where they can and cannot go with their next step. And that's really his superpower. So when he skips this one, you'll see all the weight goes up, right? We're going to skip this foot, and we have all the weight going up with the basketball. The weight and the ball are going up at the same time. We get this skip, and now he's reading Hart. And the thing that sets him apart in terms of attacking downhill and creating angles and knowing when to exchange, when to go, is this foot on Hart. You can barely see it, but McConnell does such a phenomenal job of knowing when defenders have loaded their weight. So at this point, he's just looking at all this weight is loaded. So Hart's hips, we like to think those are McConnell's hips, and these are Hart's hips right here. So he is outside. Josh Hart is outside of TJ McConnell's hips. So this is an exchange for him, and that's what TJ is looking at. And to be able to read this and see it on film is one thing. He's doing this in real time, which is just out of control good. It's unbelievable that he can continuously feel where the defender's weight is loaded and where they can and cannot go. He's top level at that, and then gets through a little crack. 2 steps for TJ to stop, 3 steps for Hart because he's created a hip turn. 1, 2 for TJ, and we've got 1, 2, 3 for Hart because he created this hip turn all the way up here with a skip to exchange. If you want to tell me this needs to go to Siakam for a corner three, fine, no problem. But being able to consistently get in the paint like TJ McConnell can do without being a top level shooter just speaks to the volume of how good his feet are and how amazing he is at feeling where the defender's weight is loaded and where they cannot go. Next one here, we're getting an ISO action from McConnell, a hip switch to an exchange, and TJ McConnell, one of the best, if not the best in the league, of feeling where the defender's weight is loaded, feeling what direction they can and cannot move the weight in, and then taking advantage. And this is so, so good. Hip switch, exchange, feeling exactly where Deuce McBride's weight is loaded and where it can and cannot go. So this exchange right here, we've got this drag hip switch, and he's going to lift all the weight. He's going to go from loaded to unloaded, and now he's reading, right? He's reading at this point. So when he gets to this right here, this is Deuce. This is the weight being able to evenly be distributed 360. He can go any direction from here, right? He's in control of what's happening. But this step, as TJ lifts this weight up, this is what starts to be TJ is in control, right? This weight is loaded here, loaded here. This is not weight that can go 360. And TJ feels that. He instantly feels that. So he goes from lift, unload, and then feels that Deuce is now moving the weight in a way that he doesn't have 360 control of it. And as soon as he feels that, he's able to have optionality from his lift and unload to load it back down and attack. This is so, so good. And it comes from a feel that he has that you can't teach this level of feel. There are certain things that you can teach guys in terms of being able to see actions, but this level of feel is instinctual, and he is one of the best in the league at it. All right, next one here from McConnell. This is going to be your refusal in a pick and roll action. This is going to be a lift to exchange, and he's one of the best, if not the best, of feeling when defenders have lost control of their weight. When they no longer are in control of where the next step goes, that it's not going to take them one step to change direction. It's going to take them multiple steps. He is one of the best in the league at it. And it's uncanny how much he can get in the lane without being able to shoot. So this is such a good job, even from the start. Right now, Deuce is in a great situation, right? This is optionality of the weight. He is loaded. He is in a good defensive position. And TJ's first action here, I don't think this in and out was ever going to be a move, but this first action from him of digging sets the rules of engagement. He does such a nice job of moving Deuce off of a comfort zone. This is a comfort zone. Instead of it just being an initial attack, he does such a nice job of moving him off and now starting to move the action on his terms, on his pace. So we get this initial dig to set the rules of engagement, and then we get this lift, back foot replacing front. We got this lift, and now always three steps: power, load, and he's reading. He is always reading, and he has such good feel, and Deuce is done. The weight is loaded here. He's almost got a full cross of the hips here. Deuce is absolutely done. The only direction Deuce can go here is this way. This is the only direction he can go on his next step. And TJ, the absolute menace that he is, because he's gone power, load here, his next step has crazy optionality. He can go, he can exchange, or he can go backwards like we saw in the previous clip. He can go back here. So this is just unbelievable stuff from McConnell, and it's one of the reasons why you see him living in the paint. He is on another planet in terms of A, setting the rules of engagement, feeling the defender's weight, where it's at, where it's not able to go, and then using his footwork to create optionality for him to get downhill in any direction. This is so, so good. I can't stress enough how difficult this is to do at the NBA level. All right, next one from McConnell. We got a 2-eye pick and roll here, and he does such a nice job of feeling where defenders are, feeling where the space is, and then attacking into that space. One of the things that McConnell does better than a lot of guys is he is really tough in the mid-range, and he knows that he's not, this incredible athlete vertically finishing. So he does a great job of using timing in terms of getting to spots and knowing when he can elevate and when other guys can't, and just taking those shots. So mid-range is dead. It's done. Nobody shoots it anymore, but TJ McConnell's keeping it alive. So this is so good from him up top. Again, there's a lot of Deuce McBride getting cooked on here because he is having his way with Deuce McBride. Deuce is going to have nightmares about TJ McConnell moving around. But just slow to fast, core three changes, slow to fast to slow, high to low, low to high, east to west, north to south, whatever it is, he does such a nice job of using these core three changes. So here we go. We're going slow to fast, we're going east to west, and we're going high to low. This is core three changes. This is being a storyteller. This is being a great actor. And he lulls Deuce McBride to sleep here. This is, because look at this. The big thing is like when you're playing, your defender's hips are going to mirror yours. So Deuce's hips are right here. They're mirroring each other, right? So one thing that you can do is when you use these core three changes, you kind of tell a story and lull your defender to sleep. Because when you engage, you know you're engaging. They're reactionary to you. So TJ does an awesome job of telling a story here. Slow to fast, core three changes, and now he's a step ahead. Deuce already has a hip turn. He's a step ahead, and now he does such a good job of controlling the action. Okay, control, control, control. There's no play here with Jackson. Precious does a nice job in the drop here, plays both. So he just takes his time, right? There's nothing here, so I just slow it up. I relax. And then again, he gets to a place, right? He's always seeing where space is. Well, if I can't throw this lob, right? If this lob isn't available and there's somebody here, well then as soon as, right, the Gortat screen here, but he can't get all the way to the lane. So as soon as Jackson clears, he's going to go into this space. He sees where the space is going to be. He knows what Jackson's going to do. And then more so than anything else, he knows where Deuce McBride can't get to, right? He knows he's behind the play. He knows that it's going to take him multiple steps to shift his weight. So he slows down, throws the ball into open space, and then goes and finds it. And he's shooting in rhythm and on balance. Deuce McBride is not in rhythm and on balance. He hasn't been in rhythm and on balance since McConnell told him a story up here, used great core three changes, found space, and shot in rhythm and on balance. Just such good stuff from McConnell, and really incredible to see him play at different speeds, different levels, and different directions. All right, last one from McConnell here. We got a DHO rescreen action, and DHOs, two things come to mind when you see under. You either want to be in rhythm and on balance to shoot it behind, or you want to get right into a rescreen. So McConnell does an awesome job of getting into a rescreen here quickly, no delay, keeping the advantage, and then shooting a wonderful goofy foot floater, shooting in rhythm and on balance while the defenders aren't. So for me, this rescreen, as soon as he gets into this, now we're into Steve Nash mode. So the Steve Nash mode is feel yours, my defender's behind, he's not in the action, and then see his, right? We're talking about Miles when we're talking about his, so we're talking about Hartenstein. So he does a really nice job of immediately flipping into that mode, getting his eyes up. You can see his eyes are up right now. And he does such a good job here because it's not just see his as Hartenstein, but he's seeing the whole picture. So he sees immediately DiVincenzo. He sees that this isn't an early pocket pass here, and he doesn't make a turnover, which sometimes it's the plays you don't make that are really the ones that separate you as a player. So not throwing this, not being baited into this turnover by the tag guy, this is such a nice job, and it all comes from feel yours, see his, getting his head up early in this action. So that's so good. And then the next part, shooting this floater in rhythm and on balance, goofy foot actions. He's consistently making plays while he's in rhythm and his defenders aren't. So to me, this is just the McConnell experience, consistently being in rhythm, using great reads and core three changes to be ahead of the play, and then taking these mid-range shots in rhythm and on balance while your defender is playing catch-up. That's TJ McConnell in a nutshell. All right, that's a wrap on TJ McConnell. What a fun watch. There's something that always, in me wishes that he could shoot it a little bit better because, God, is he even a more fun player if he could shoot it? But that ship has sailed. It's never going to change, but I can appreciate him for what he is, and he's one of the most crafty, instinctual feeling players of understanding how to play in rhythm and on balance with the basketball, and then so uncanny of ability to feel where the defender's weight is loaded and where they can and cannot go with their next step. You can tell that these things look like instincts out there, but he has probably worked so hard to ingrain them as habits that turn into instincts. And he clearly has a plan when he's out there. He understands how to tell a story with his movement, how to tell a story with his changes, and then how to create fear in the defender of where he will and will not go, and then use that fear as they load weight to counter it. He's one of the best I've seen at exchanging the ball and exchanging himself downhill after creating fear in a defender and getting them to load all their weight going one direction. It's a pretty fun hang watching him. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope to catch you on the next one.